Imagine a world on the brink. The year is 1939, and a letter penned by the brilliant Albert Einstein is on its way to the desk of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This letter isn't just ink on paper. It's a warning shot, a premonition of a power so immense it could reshape the world forever. It speaks of a new kind of physics, a way to unlock the very heart of the atom and unleash an energy never before seen by humanity. This is the story of the Manhattan Project, the most audacious, secretive, and terrifying scientific race in history. It all started with a whisper in the scientific community. In Germany, physicists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann had done the unthinkable. They had split the uranium atom. This discovery, known as nuclear fission, sent shockwaves through the world of physics. It meant that a chain reaction was possible, a domino effect at the atomic level that could release a catastrophic amount of energy. For scientists who had fled the rising tide of fascism in Europe, like Leo Szilard and Enrico Fermi, the implications were horrifying. What if Nazi Germany developed this power first? The thought was unbearable, and so the race began. In the vast, isolated deserts of New Mexico, under the veil of the utmost secrecy, a city rose from nothing. Los Alamos. It was a place that didn't officially exist, a clandestine gathering of the brightest minds of a generation. Physicists, chemists, engineers all brought together for a single, monumental purpose. Leading this incredible assembly was the enigmatic and intensely driven J. Robert Oppenheimer. A theoretical physicist with a poetic soul, he was tasked with orchestrating this grand, terrifying symphony of science. The challenges were colossal. How do you enrich uranium? How do you create a controlled, self-sustaining chain reaction? How do you design a device that can reliably trigger an atomic explosion? These weren't just theoretical questions anymore. They were urgent engineering problems with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. At the University of Chicago, hidden beneath the bleachers of a squash court, Enrico Fermi and his team built the world's first nuclear reactor, Chicago Pile 1. On December 2, 1942, they achieved the first controlled nuclear chain reaction. Humanity had successfully kindled a new fire, a star on Earth. It was a monumental achievement, a quiet, world-changing moment that proved the theory was sound. The bomb was possible. Back at Los Alamos, the work intensified. The project was split into two main designs. One, a simpler gun-type device using uranium-235, was nicknamed Little Boy. The other, a far more complex implosion-type weapon using the newly created element plutonium, was called Fat Man. The implosion design was a work of genius and desperation. It required perfectly shaped explosive lenses to crush a plutonium core into a critical mass with unimaginable precision. The calculations were so complex they pushed the limits of early computing technology. Tensions were high, the pressure immense. These scientists, many of them young and idealistic, wrestled daily with the moral weight of their creation. They were driven by the fear of a greater evil, yet haunted by the destructive power they were close to perfecting. As the war in Europe drew to a close with Germany's surrender in May 1945, the original justification for the project vanished. But the momentum was unstoppable. The war in the Pacific raged on, and the focus shifted. The ultimate test was now on the horizon. On July 16, 1945, in the desolate expanse of the New Mexico desert, at a site codenamed Trinity, the world held its breath. In the pre-dawn darkness, the first atomic device, nicknamed the Gadget, was detonated. What happened next was beyond anything they had imagined. A flash of light brighter than 1,000 suns, followed by a silent, expanding sphere of fire that painted the desert mountains in otherworldly colors. Then the shock wave, a physical manifestation of the atom's fury, and a thunderous roar that echoed for miles. The iconic mushroom cloud rose into the sky, a terrifying, beautiful, and awe-inspiring pillar of power. Oppenheimer, watching from a distance, recalled a line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." In that blinding flash, the atomic age was born. The world had been changed forever, not by a letter, but by the fire it had foretold. The story of the Manhattan Project is more than just history. It's a profound lesson about human ingenuity, ambition, and the immense responsibility that comes with knowledge. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we unite for a common purpose, but also a stark reminder of the ethical tightrope we walk. It forces us to ask ourselves the hard questions about the pursuit of science and the price of power. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.